Kids should come with instructions. It's not worth it unless you get money. Art should be the most important thing in life. At the age of 50, you should acquire a castle. What the hell am I talking about? Well, those are opinions, which is the theme of this week's class. So this week's class was very different. It was different because we had a sub-teacher who turned out to be my level A and B for anxiety class teacher. And he definitely teaches a lot different in like a level E class as opposed to the anxiety class. The anxiety class is, you made a mistake, it didn't matter. The level E class, you made a mistake, he stops you. Like in the scenes, he would stop you and he would point out what's going wrong and then have you start a completely new scene and use what he just told you, which, as frustrating as that was, I do appreciate it because then it gets you to use the information as opposed to here's some information and you just forget about it within like 10 minutes or an hour. So I found that really useful. It was also really enjoyable but frustrating. And I was not the only person who felt frustrated and just, I guess, discouraged. But yeah, we're still learning and it takes a while to become really good at improv. That's just how it is. So anyways, we started up doing warm-up games, and then, we played a couple other games, and then we got into the theme of the day. So we started off playing a game where one person would come out with a neutral line, like, oh, here's your breakfast, or did you pick up the mail? And then the other person would have to respond emotionally. And the point of that was to help us get into the habit of emotionally responding. Because when a response is very neutral, it's hard to build on that. It's hard to yes and that. It's just like, okay. And it just, so emotions are good. So that kind of led into this new concept that I never really thought about. The whole, a different way to look at the yes and. Okay. Yes is where you're reacting to the line, and the and is the why you're reacting that way. And then that led into a game about opinions, where we started off scenes and we responded with the opinions, which is pretty much with the and, or the why am I responding this way. So we'd have that emotional response, and then we would, we would respond from there. For instance, I started a scene where I'm like, Lady Katrina, I brought you the mushrooms we can use to kill the king. And then her response was, oh, they're not big enough. That was a reaction. That was an opinion. And then I felt I was, I had that emotional reaction of feeling hurt, and I turned my back. And I think I might have said, well, that's all I could find. I think I said was, but that's all I could find. And so that's the yes, responding. The and, that's all I could find. Still feeling hurt. There's the yes and and. And then we had to carry on the scene, trying to escalate that emotional response. So, to start that off, we played a game where one person would come up with a very... Are you done? Okay. Or,
escalated and then something change, and then having a different kind of response. And that game was called Opinion Moment. Kind of got us thinking into the whole Tony moment thing, where you're like coming out, doing a solo piece where you're putting a lot of emotion in it. Except with this, you're just putting your opinion in it. You're trying to throw your opinions in there. And the teacher also said, you know, when you're in an improv scene, you're trying to be like a salesman to your opinion. The character's trying to get the other person to like go along with it. You don't necessarily need to for a scene. And a lot of the times it's better that you don't. You know, you have like a clashing of opinions or wants or desires or whatever. And also the teacher said, get your opinion out there as soon as possible. You know, that can help to guide the scene and create like the game of the scene where you would elevate whatever that is. When one person gets excited, the other person gets really sick and wants to vomit because they feel like happiness is gross. That's kind of an opinion. And one last thing that I'm gonna reiterate that I've said before in some of my videos that the teacher said is don't invent things. Don't keep inventing things. Work with what's there. Kind of like with the game Mimic. You know, you don't do anything until you see somebody naturally do something, and then you work with that. Same thing with the scene. You know, what naturally comes up, you work with that.
For John.
So, anyways, that's my video. If you like it, please take a moment to give me a thumbs up, comment below, and subscribe if you'd like to see more videos. Alright, until next time, bye. If you haven't already seen the previous videos of Level E, click on the following links below and watch them now.